Alright, everybody, this is LQ back with the LQ review, and this is going to be my weekly news roundup. So, this is a segment where I just talk about all the movie news that came out this week. And let's get started with the first story with Arrow. Arrow is ending. Yes, Stephen Amell put out on his social media that Arrow was ending after this season. They're going to air 10 more episodes. It's going to lead up to Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then Arrow will be finished. However, the Arrowverse that the Arrow show spawned is going to continue to live on. So it's not going to be out of the question that Stephen Amell will still make appearances as Arrow in the Arrowverse. But the show is ending after its historic run. Now, I've heard people say that Arrow gave birth to the Arrowverse, and Arrow made this CW shows possible. And thanks to Arrow, you get this whole universe of superhero movies or TV shows. I disagree. Smallville made Arrow possible, and then Arrow created a larger world. But Arrow's ending, and we'll just have to keep an eye on what Stephen Amell does next. Is he still going to turn up as Arrow in CW shows? We'll just have to wait and see. Next, not really movie news, but definitely relevant. Galaxy's Edge at Disney World and Disneyland is opening soon. Walt Disney has released the opening dates for those two lands to open. The one in Disneyland is opening up on May 31st, and the one in Disney World is opening up on August 29th. So these are the largest lands in Disney World now. And they have several rides, several stores, several restaurants. The ride I'm most looking forward to is the Millennium Falcon ride. Can't wait to get to Disney World and ride that one. But Galaxy's Edge is coming, and it's coming soon. A whole world themed to Star Wars. So that's something to keep an eye on as well for your next Disney trip. And speaking of Disney, Disney has also announced that the deal with Fox is closing soon. So here within the next few weeks, it's going to be official. Disney will own most of Fox's properties, including the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and a lot of the properties that us comic book nerds have wanted them to own. But it's important to remember that Disney purchased Fox not for the X-Men, not for the Fantastic Four, but for all their properties, including their television properties, because Disney's going to be releasing their streaming service, Disney Plus. And they want those properties for their streaming service. They want the content. So it'd be interesting to see if like Family Guy and The Simpsons and shows like that goes to Disney Plus, or if they're going to find a home on Hulu, which Disney owns a controlling stake in as well. So that'll be interesting. Also, kind of obscure news, but not obscure for me because I love the first one. Kung Fu Hustle 2 is set to get in front of the cameras. So says Stephen Chow. So the first Kung Fu Hustle was this extremely silly parody of Kung Fu martial art movies. It was hilarious. It had some Looney Tunes aspects to it. I mean, it was funny. But it's been a long time. It's been at least 10 years since the first Kung Fu Hustle came out. So is Kung Fu Hustle 2 even going to be relevant anymore? Doesn't matter. I'm going to watch it. I'm stoked about this news. Most of you, it's a non-starter because most of you probably never even heard of Kung Fu Hustle, or if you've heard of it, you haven't seen it. I have seen it. I loved it. I have it on DVD somewhere. So great movie, and definitely looking forward to the second one. There's news about Alexandre Aja's new alligator attack movie called Crawl. Crawl is actually moving up its release date. It was set to release this fall, and it's moving up to a summer release in July. Crawl is about a typhoon that floods out a community in Florida, and a woman who's living on her own in a house, her house gets flooded out, and she tries to ride it out in the house until she realizes that she's not alone. There's an alligator in the house with her, a big, mean, hungry alligator. It sounds silly, but Alexander Aja is going to do something great with it, and I'm on board. I'm on board with any crocodile movie, even the stupid ones. But I'm definitely on board with this one because it looks like it's going to be a real gritty, just primal take on the crocodile attack movie. Next, there's been a lot of Suicide Squad 2 news recently. We've talked about Will Smith leaving Suicide Squad 2, so he's not going to reprise his role as Deadshot because he had a scheduling conflict. He's scheduled with Netflix to film Bright 2. Don't know why. Bright wasn't a good movie. But he is scheduled with Netflix to do Bright 2, so he could not meet the scheduling needs for Suicide Squad 2, so he's not going to be playing Deadshot. we know that Margot Robbie is going to be back as Harley Quinn, which is great. She's filming Birds of Prey right now, and then she's going to go right into Suicide Squad. But we did learn that Idris Elba is going to be taking Will Smith's spot as Deadshot in Suicide Squad 2, which is great casting. Idris Elba is fantastic. He hasn't really had that breakthrough role yet, so hopefully this is it. We thought maybe the Dark Tower would be his breakthrough role. He's got Hobbs and Shaw coming up. That might be a good one. Dark Tower kind of flopped, so I'm anxious to see. Deadshot's kind of the co-lead with Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad movies. So maybe this will be his breakout role. Who knows? But Idris Elba's great. We also learned that Joel Kinnaman is out as Rick Flag. So Joel Kinnaman's not going to be back as Rick Flag in Suicide Squad 2. So I'm not sure if they're just going to not bring that character back, or if they're going to recast Rick Flag. I don't know. Rick Flag is often a key member of the Suicide Squad in the comics, but not always. So we'll see what they decide to do with that character. We also learned who the roster is going to be. So not only are you going to have Deadshot and Harley Quinn, you're also going to have King Shark, you're going to have Polka Dot Man, you're going to have the Ratcatcher. So you've got some obscure characters here, but this is going to be right up James Gunn's alley. James Gunn loves the obscure characters, and by the way, rumor has it that Dave Bautista, who plays Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's in talks to play the Peacemaker. The Peacemaker is a guy who wants peace so bad he's willing to murder for it. So the Peacemaker to be played by Dave Bautista, potentially. A lot of Suicide Squad 2 news. This is going to get in front of the cameras pretty soon. A cool piece of news from me. The Academy Museum of Motion Pictures has purchased the last remaining robot from the original movie Jaws. So the last robotic shark from Jaws has been purchased by the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. They're going to restore it and put it on display. I hope to one day get over there to see it. Jaws is my all-time favorite movie, and it's great news that they're trying to preserve a piece of film history. So Bruce the Shark is going to live on indefinitely because of the attention of the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. More comic book movie news. Emma Watson of Harry Potter fame and Beauty and the Beast fame, is in talks to be the co-lead in Black Widow, with Scarlett Johansson reprising her role as Black Widow in the MCU. I'm not sure if it's going to be a villainous role or a co-team member with Black Widow. My guess is it's probably going to be villainous, but this is fantastic news because I think Emma Watson is great, and I'm anxious to see if she can pull off the action role. I always like to see actors and actresses push themselves beyond their comfort zone, and I think this would be something that Emma Watson hasn't done yet, so I think it's great news, and let's see how this develops. Maleficent has a poster and a title. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. But not only does it have a poster and a title, it also has a new release date. It's moving up from 2020 to October of 2019. So Angelina Jolie's second go-round as Maleficent is coming much sooner than we thought, and it's coming soon in October. So Maleficent, Mistress of Evil is coming in October. Check out the poster. It's a pretty neat poster, but overall, just looking forward to this movie. The first one was an interesting take on the Maleficent tale. I wouldn't call it a straight adaptation of Sleeping Beauty because it wasn't. It was a very different take, but I want to see where they take this character next. Finally, the Shazam, early reviews for Shazam are coming in, so the social media embargo is lifted. So you've got two embargoes on reviews. You got the social media embargo. When that lifts, critics can get online and give their brief thoughts on social media about what they thought of a movie. And then the second embargo is the review embargo. At that point, the critics can release their full reviews of a movie. The social media embargo has lifted on Shazam, which is definitely significant because Warner Brothers is releasing it, lifting this embargo about a month out, which means that they have a lot of confidence in this movie. And it sounds like they got confidence for good reason, because the early reviews on the social media have been glowing. Some people have even been calling it the DCEU's best movie so far. They've been calling it a lot of fun and just a really great movie. So I'm looking forward to Shazam a lot. I think it looks hilarious. I think it looks fun. I think it's an interesting entry into the DCEU, and I'm very encouraged by what we've heard so far. So that's some of the big news that we've had this week in the movie world. Of course, the biggest news this week is the fact that Captain Marvel has released in theaters. Everybody's waiting to see what kind of weekend it has as far as box office is concerned. Is it going to blow up the box office and make $400 million worldwide opening weekend, or is it going to have a little softer opening? We'll have to wait and see and keep an eye on that, but that's the big news of the week, is that Captain Marvel is finally here, and we'll see what kind of impact that has on the MCU. So I'm LQ, this is the LQ Review. Thank you for being here so we can talk all things geeky and nerdy, and until next time, we'll see you later.